So we have a great deal to learn from nature. And take economics. If we ran our body's economy the way our world economy works, it might look something like this. You call the heart-lung system the northern industrial organs, and you give them ownership of the bones in which you mine the raw material blood cells that arise in the marrow. Sweep them up here to the northern industrial organs, purify the blood as actually happens, add oxygen, and then the heart distribution center announces the body price for blood today is so much, who will buy? And you ship the blood to the organs that can afford it, and not all can. This is the situation we have economically in the world today, and you can see that a living system can't function that way. Getting back to genetically modified foods, the DNA has been traded from ancient times in the bacterial world among species. But it's an intelligent trading system, and it knows what to take in, what not to take in, what to release. When we started to implant genes in other genomes, first of all, we harnessed bacteria and viruses that were capable of carrying DNA into cells to do the work for us. And we'd plant the genes in that way. And then the next time we looked at what was happening in those plants that were modified that way, we saw that gene was gone. It had disappeared. So it took many years to figure out how to get genes to stay in place when we put them in there. Unfortunately, our genetic engineers think that you can stick a new screw in place in the machine and change it that way. But it's not a mechanical system. They're intelligent systems. They can detect the gene that doesn't belong and get rid of it. So they were throwing the genes out. What we do now essentially is to shoot them in under pressure with a kind of crazy glue attached and force the genomes to accept these genes. And the good research is showing that the whole organism reacts kind of the way flesh hardens and gets red around a splinter, that the entire organism can be disrupted by this, because it's passed to all its cells. And we find that rats, for instance, fed on genetically modified foods versus natural ones, that their organs begin to shrink and get leathery. But research scientists who discover these few things we know about it tend to get fired, because the research is usually funded by the big corporations that are doing the work. So we're in trouble with genetically modified food. In Mexico, the wild stalks of corn are now polluted, even though the company scientists had said the pollen wouldn't carry the modified genes that far, but it did. In Canada, we have farmers sued for having genetically engineered crops in their fields. When they did not steal or plant them, they blew in on the wind. In the United States, we can no longer guarantee organic soy or corn because the stalks are so polluted. So the genie's out of the bottle, and we can't stop it. Europe is being much more sensible in rejecting these foods because the research on their effects on people over time are absolutely inadequate. We do know that some of the genetically modified foods are interfering with people's medications. It's certainly enough to warrant a ceasefire on this until we know far more about it, and until we understand life better and possibly can make good use of such technologies, learning from the natural world that's been trading genes for so long. The really exciting thing about being alive today is that we're all here for a great transformation. It's clear that we're unsustainable, we have to change things, and we're figuring out how. And in a sense, the old system is getting more entrenched, more violent, more powerful. It's trying to keep itself alive while we know that we need a new system. And the best metaphor that I've found from this, about this situation, comes from the biological world. Again, it's the metamorphosis of a caterpillar into a butterfly. If you see the old system as a caterpillar crunching its way through the ecosystem, eating up to 300 times its weight in a single day, bloating itself until it just can't function anymore, and then going to sleep with its skin hardening into a chrysalis, what happens in its body is that little imaginal discs, as they're called by biologists, begin to appear in the body of the caterpillar, and its immune system attacks them. But they keep coming up stronger, and they start to link with each other. And as they connect, as they link with each other, they mature into full-fledged cells, and more of them aggregate until the immune system of the caterpillar just can't function anymore. And at that point, the body of the caterpillar kind of melts into a nutritive soup that can feed the butterfly. I love this metaphor because it shows us why, first of all, we who want to change the world are coexisting with the old system for a while. And why there's no point in attacking the old system, because you know the caterpillar is unsustainable, so it's going to die. What we have to focus on is, can we build a viable butterfly, a butterfly that really can fly, because that's not guaranteed. So if we put our energy into building all the alternative ways of doing things, we can learn from nature how to go about this process of evolution that's called for today. We can build alternatives to the old models of education, of law, of healthcare. All of this we're doing. And we know we can function as a global family because we've got communication systems that are global, even if wars are going on. We see that we can send faxes and make phone calls and be on the internet. The internet, by the way, functions like a real self-organizing living system. You have to tolerate a lot of chaos in that situation to see the good things emerging, to see us connecting more and more, and that's happening. So I have tremendous hope for all of us humans together using our creative technology, our computers, in order to link each other, but that's linking our minds, our concepts, our visions, and above all, we need a very powerful vision to hold that butterfly image for us, to know where we want to go, because the old system is very clear about what it wants, and we really do create our realities out of our beliefs. If we don't believe in a positive world in which all humans are liberated to express their creativity, we cannot build it. We must hold the vision very clearly and then go about doing whatever each of us loves doing most, knowing that the others will do the other parts. None of us has to do the whole thing. Together, we can really make it happen.